a hot girl. I'm single. I want to be outside doing hood rat things with my friends.
Aw, hell, it's about to get real.
Welcome to Digressive Diaries, a safe space for the random ramblings of a millennial with ADHD, navigating life with no GPS, so help me God. This is for the black sheep, the outcast, and the badass. Welcome home. This is not a regular YouTube channel. This is my life, and you are now part of the tribe. So join now, stay forever, and like, comment, and subscribe. You guys, wow, we are now 11 days into living in my new home, which is my old home, which is my second home, because this is my great aunt's house. This isn't the family home that I grew up in, but this is the home that I have here in Georgia, where I now reside and have been over the last 9 years. You guys, I cannot believe it's been 11 days. This has felt like the quickest 11 days and yet the longest 11 days ever. The transition from living in the beautiful loft I once had in Midtown Atlanta to being with the old folks in their home over here in Cobb County. What an adjustment it has been. That's what this video is about. I believe this is entry 8. So many videos about moving and what that up and down process has felt like, and finally we are on the other side of that move. Definitely so happy to have some solutions, like some under the bed storage options and whatnot, which I don't think I took a video of, but they're super convenient, super flat. They roll right up under the bed. Still have some things that need to be placed, but overall really so much more comfortable in space. Lights for me are something that make me feel at home. As you can see, I had lights all over my stairs. I had lights everywhere. I had colorful mood lights that I can change with the remote. So I absolutely love, let's see. Yeah, let's just do blue. I love being able to like kind of set the mood and just bring some of me into the space that I'm in. So guys, I have worked really hard to make this space my own. I have some clips to show you what the space looks like now. Thank God for Tati, because when I got here on moving day, she had cleared out so much of the stuff that was here, and I actually got the movers to get rid of that dinosaur TV that you guys saw in entry 2. Yeah, in entry 2 or 3. No, I think it was 3. Anyways, I'm so glad I got that TV removed. I did my best to make the space my own, so I'm gonna show you some clips of that. Outside of that, there's just some like interesting things about living here. Like when you're just peacefully reading your book and then next thing you know, so my great aunt, bless her dearly, she is 89 if I'm not mistaken, or turning 89. I want to say she's 89. She spends every waking minute of her life praising Jesus, honoring Jesus in some way, and she is watching a sermon if she's not cooking or cleaning. That's what she's doing. So sometimes I just like to sit with her in her room and watch her praise the Lord.
I have service at 10 o'clock every Wednesday.
Adorable. So real quick, here's some things that are a bit annoying about living here. Being at my big age of 33, I am just so used to living on my own. I used to live with Tati and her husband almost 10 years ago when I first moved to Atlanta, and I only stayed with them for 9 months. I had a job and I saved up to get my first apartment. So to be back here, like I said, a little bit bittersweet, but what I just don't remember is feeling like I always had to report on where I was. Now, granted, maybe because I had work at the time to go to every day, it's a little bit different. So now when I leave the house, I feel like I'm always like reporting where I'm going. The other day, she sent this text message, and this is what it said. You guys can like pause to read it, but I was just like, oh my goodness. I feel like I have like a chaperone, and I feel like I'm like 12 with a parent that wants to know, like, whose house are you sleeping over? And part of it is a bit foreign because I'm just not used to someone wanting this kind of detail about my life and my like safety. The other part of it is sweet, but it is a little bit different. I used to just get up and go without having to notify anyone. And honestly, especially because my great aunt is, you know, super Christian and I am a super not, I feel like going out, especially because your girl loves to be on Buford Highway. Your girl loves to be was they about on somebody's couch, okay? And honestly, them Africans, they don't go home until like 6 in the morning. And I sometimes don't make it out that late, but I tend to go out around like 11:30 and I'll come back around 3, 4. So this is just such a different life to now try to configure, okay, am I gonna sleep over at this friend's house if I'm going out and not just be able to come back home? Not to mention, I'm not as close to all the spots that I typically go to. I'm not as close to my friends. So when I tell you guys, I feel like a goddamn truck driver just when I go visit a friend. I'm like 35 minutes, 40 minutes sometimes away from all of my loved ones. And when I left the club one day and I saw that I was 40 minutes away, I was like, oh no, I'm just gonna sleep at this person's house. One day I actually slept in the car for about 2 hours because I didn't have the key for the bottom lock, and because Tati didn't think I was coming back, she locked the bottom lock. Baby, she felt so bad. Then when she realized there was a text from me saying, hey, if you happen to be up, I'm in the car. If not, I'll just sleep in the car. She gave me her key with a quickness and said, please make a copy of this key. I am so sorry that happened, but you should have called me. And I didn't want to bother her. So this is just so weird. I'm a hot girl. I'm single. I want to be outside doing hood rat things with my friends. But also on the other side of it, this chapter of life doesn't really call for all the extracurriculars. Although my defense has always been, I don't spend money. Money gets spent on me. I'm not buying suya, I'm not buying alcohol, I'm not buying hookah in the club. Men provide that. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank God for free privilege. So, you know, there's a part of me that just kind of feels like, dang, like some of my outlet, like, you know, going out, having a good time, dancing, is kind of being a little bit like short-circuited. Like, I don't know. Now, there are going to be some moments where I'm going to be house sitting for like a friend of mine in Decatur, house sitting and dog sitting for a friend of mine in East Atlanta. So, you know, I'll have my moments. And of course, my friends love me, thank God. And they want me to like come sleep over, hang out with them. And so I don't have to worry about driving. But it's just different. It's just different compared to having your own space and being able to do what you want. I'm pretty much confined to this room. Not like I can't go downstairs and spend time in the living room. Although I took a nap on the couch and I woke up and I had a pimple. I was like, what the hell is this? These old ass pillows have not been cleaned in probably 20 years. Oh my God. But like the living room, for example, that is my great uncle's domain. I end up listening to the news, and unfortunately I had to listen to the State of the Union against my will because he's downstairs in his chair where he always is, watching TV very loudly. Okay, so really this is my safe space, which is why I went out of my way to decorate it the way I have. Thank God I have a huge second monitor. This is my TV. I'm not a big TV person, but I just hook it up with my HDMI cord and I'll just watch it from here. This is not exactly the configuration, the dream configuration, but I'm not going to get a TV, mount it, and do all of that for a very temporary stay. As a matter of fact, when I was homeless and jobless back in 2016, a guy that I stayed with said, you know, when he had to go through something pretty similar, he didn't allow himself to get comfortable because he wanted himself to always be reminded by his discomfort that he has a plan to get better. He has to be driven by his discomfort to have a better life. I don't want to make this place super cushy, although I do need a little bit of, you know, va-va-voom for me, especially for, you know, my little aesthetic background and whatnot. But I don't want to make this place feel like heaven. Like it's not going to, with 80-something-year-olds asking you why you're going out so late, me having to finesse what I'm wearing because I can't be a hot girl and wear certain things. So that's just a little bit frustrating. But I mean, upsides, you know, I have people to say, you know, hello to every single day, that, you know, enjoy seeing me, that are always happy to see me. My great uncle doesn't say much. He always says, I'm happy to see you. Okay, I love you. And then at night, I do this to him and he does it right back. And that's it. It's a simple pleasantries. Plus, they're in their late 80s, early 90s soon come. You know what I mean? We don't have precious time with our elders. So I don't know, I'm kind of starting to see this time as a blessing, even though it has been such a hard transition. I'm so independent. I didn't grow up with a lot of guidance and with parental presence. So it's so weird to have people ask me, you know, where am I going? Oh my God. The other day I came home with Chipotle after going to the gym, and she was like, you have food in the fridge. I was like, first of all, that's a salad. She's like, well, when are you gonna eat it? And I was like, oh my God. I mean, you're right, I shouldn't waste food, but like, it is a blessing. It is a blessing. That's what I'm gonna say. So I am just working with this adjustment. It is, what is today? Today's February 25th. And in March, again, I have some long stays at my friend's house. So it'll give me a little bit of like, you know, a little bit of breathing room from them. But outside of that, I don't know. I think I'm just still allowing myself to kind of like feel settled. I think I don't have any more trips left to the storage unit, but going through all of my things, it just makes you realize, do you really even need all this stuff? What I do intend to do at the storage unit that you guys saw in the previous entry, I do intend to go back into the storage unit and open some of these boxes and really sit with some of the things that are in these boxes and ask myself, is there a use for this? Now, what's so interesting to me is that I'm a person that's really big on taking inventory of my things and figuring out, okay, what do I still use? What doesn't really suit my aesthetic anymore? What items are just clutter, right? I do this all throughout the year, and it's so crazy because right before I moved out, I did it again and hauled out a lot more stuff. Coming here, moving certain things in, I looked at things and I was just like, no. It's almost like there were like new levels of understanding because I only had limited space in the bathroom and in this room. Do we really need this? And one thing I am being so intentional on is not turning that storage unit into like a glorified trash can. So I'm gonna go into that storage unit and sift through things again, just to make sure that I'm not holding on to things for the sake of holding on to things. I want the things in there to have value. And honestly, it's gonna be really interesting to assess what deserves to stay or not, because if I'm not using it within this, what I hope is just a 9-month period of staying here, why am I keeping it? Unless these are things that like honestly just have more of a place when I have my own place, they're gonna go. So you guys, I'm still getting settled. I feel like I still owe myself some self-care. These dogs is barking. Okay, these dogs is barking. They have to get done. I got back into the swing of things when it comes to working out in the gym. So of course I'll update you guys on how I feel that's going. But LA Fitness isn't far. That's a plus, because as a LA Fitness member, I'm very appreciative that I can still make it to the gym and that this move didn't deter that. I have an issue though when it comes to this house having all the processed foods that I'm naturally addicted to. I find myself snacking late at night. When I lived in my apartment, if I didn't buy the snack wasn't available to me. I would actually have to inconvenience myself just to go get something I have no business eating. Here, oh my God, my favorite like childhood comfort snack are saltine crackers. There are like 17 boxes of saltine crackers in the cupboard. Like, I found myself eating things that I don't typically eat because I have access to it. So when I tell you the level of discipline I have to have now that I'm here, yeah. We're navigating a big adjustment when it comes to going out and informing my senior citizens that I'm good and well. We're navigating disciplining ourselves when it comes to what we eat. We're doing our best not to just continue to eat out because I don't feel comfortable cooking here yet. Honestly, I just don't cook, period. Like, I'm not even gonna make it about like the stove being a gas stove because I've never cooked on a gas stove before. Judge your mama. Yeah, so it's just a lot. I'm doing my best to stay the course though, because what do you mean do your best? Like, I have no choice. I have no choice but to stay the course, because what am I going back to? Stress? Yeah. I will say I cannot wait. March will be the first month where the money that I make from my business isn't going to these crazy ass bills. Also, I get my security deposit back. They tried to charge me for a broken lamp. I had receipts. That was broken when I moved in. This is why you should always take recordings of things, because you never know when you're gonna have to fact check somebody and provide the receipts. I still never heard from that job. So again, I'm not going to spend another entry talking about that. But it is going to be time for me to reinstate my therapy license so that I can get employed, either a W-2 role or back to a 1099 contractor role where I'll get more consistent work. I'm not sure. There's just still so much to figure out, but I love that I'm being consistent when it comes to putting these videos out. I'm so grateful for everyone that's watching this journey. I cannot wait to see myself out of this situation. I've always appreciated where I lived before and having my own space, but I know that this is really reminding me how important it is to take care of yourself to the point where you don't have to be in a space where you have to depend on other people. And at the same time, it's reminding me how wealthy I am to have options, to have family as an option, to stay with gratis as I figure out my life. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this entry of Digressive Diaries. Love you so much. Until next time.